Hey there folks, my name is Empty Berry, and welcome to today's episode of Lore to Go, the series where we talk about the story behind games in 5 minutes or less. This is the fourth video in a new series recapping Year 4 of Destiny 2. I'll be going over each of the seasons, catching people up that may have taken some time off, are new to the game, or those that just skip every cutscene. This episode in particular is going to focus on the story of the season of the Splicer, which featured the Vex making an attack directly on the city, leading to another new ally. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel in order to see more videos about characters and events in the Destiny universe. With all that said, let's jump into it. The season of the Splicer begins with the Vex causing the last city to be enveloped in an endless night due to one of their simulations. The details on how this actually happened are a little shaky, so just chalk it up to some space magic. Ikora and the Vanguard are baffled as to how to fix the problem, which is lowering morale in the city and causing all sorts of issues. Ikora and Osiris learn of an Elixni Kell named Mithrax, who has created the House of Light, which believe that humanity is not their enemy and wish to ally with them to fight for the Traveler. They also learn that Mithrax is known as a Sacred Splicer, a group of what are essentially the warlocks of Elixni. With his immense knowledge of technology, Mithrax has the ability to open a portal into the Vex realm, which the Vanguard want to use to help end the Endless Night. While Mithrax wishes to help the Guardians, his priority is protecting his people as they attempt to flee from Europa and what remains of the House of Salvation. Ikora invites the House of Light to seek shelter within the last city if he will help them with the Vex, to which Mithrax agrees. As the House of Light settles into a mostly unused section of the last city, Mithrax begins to work with the Guardian to override the Vex domain. Unfortunately, this process would take weeks while the Guardian honed their abilities as a Splicer. During this time, the Elixni attempted to assimilate into the last city, which did not go as well as hoped. The people of the last city experienced a significant amount of culture shock to see Elixni in the streets, which is understandable considering they had been in an ongoing conflict with humanity for centuries. Further complicating matters is Lakshmi II, the leader of the Future War Cult faction, who is very vocal about her disdain of the Elixni, especially as weeks pass without a resolution to the Endless Night. Lakshmi II claims that she had a vision of a great battle within the city itself, one in which the Elixni were at the center of. Treating this vision as the truth, and utilizing her position as one of the leaders of the city, she would regularly broadcast messages to the people of the city preaching that the Elixni could not be trusted. This eventually leads to an attack on the Elixni district by members of the last city. Though there were no casualties, the House of Light began to think that they shouldn't stay within the city's walls. Mithrax would go on to rally his people, and reiterate that they were not to retaliate and that they were here to live peacefully. Mithrax and Saint 14 would also become allies, after Mithrax explained how the Elixni people saw him as a monster, yet managed to live near him every day without issue. After many weeks, the Guardian and Mithrax made a breakthrough with the Endless Night. They discovered that the source of the simulation is Curia, Blade Transform, who is a minion of Savathun. They also discovered the location of Curia and send the Guardian to defeat it. After a lengthy battle within the Vex network, the Guardian is able to slay Curia, causing the Endless Night to slowly lift from the last city. While much of the city celebrates the return to daylight, Lakshmi II continues her crusade against the Elixni. In a final, desperate act to remove them from the city, she utilizes Vex data obtained from the Guardian to open a Vex portal within the Elixni quarters of the city. While she planned to utilize this to banish the Elixni from the city, her plan backfires when Vex pour out of the portal and immediately kill her. Good riddance. She was terrible and totally deserved this. As the Vex advance upon the Elixni, the Guardians and Saint 14 rally to Mithrax in an attempt to hold back the tide of enemies. As they begin to be cornered, the rest of the Vanguard, including Ikora, Zavala, and Amanda Holiday, arrive and help to end the threat of the Vex and close the portal. Suspiciously, Osiris merely watched the attack, refusing to assist and seeming to leave in disgust when the Vex were defeated. However, that's a story that we will tell in our next season recap about the Season of the Lost. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Lore to Go. We recap the Season of the Splicer today, and will continue our Year 4 recap over the next week leading into Witch Queen. Be aware that the Season of the Lost video might be a couple days late since Bungie is apparently refusing to finish up its storyline. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on any future content. That's all for today though. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.